Welcome back, friends, for video number 5 of our book. In this video, I'm going to be reading chapters 9 and 10. I am Mrs. Marion, and I appreciate you joining me in the reading of our book. Let's take a look at the cover again. Dream It, Believe It, Manatee Patty by Jenny Rose. I hope you're enjoying this book as much as I am. Also with me today are Sparky and Biscuit. They're back today listening. Remember the other day, Biscuit had slipped off to the other room taking a nap. He was a little tired. So let's look at them. They're always near me. There's Biscuit. He's the little one. And if you remember, there's Sparky. He's the big guy. They like to lay in bed and listen to a story. I like to lay in bed at night and read right before I go to bed. It helps me relax. You should try it. If you don't do that, you should try that. Okay, chapter 9. One by one, the Mann family gathers in the living room. Maggie Mann is the first to arrive, carrying a tray with coffee, freshly squeezed lemonade, and mini lemon poppy seed muffins. Next, Manatee Patty appears with her 2 dream catchers in her hands. Aunt Braley surprises Manatee Patty with a present wrapped in jungle motif. Chris Mann has been agonizing over the best way to share some life-changing news with his daughter. So understandably, he's the last to join his family. With unspoken words laying deeply inside him, Chris Mann prays for strength, accepts the inevitable, and initiates the conversation. Did everyone have a good rest and beautiful dreams? I sure did, Dad. I have been so curious about the contents of the gift from Aunt Braley. I dreamed about rhinos, a lizard, and Mount Kilimanjaro. In my dream, she bought me a round-trip ticket to Africa so that she could show me her favorite places in person. Thoughts of Victoria Falls flooded my dreams. Maybe someday I will see Victoria Falls with you, Aunt Braley. It's number 11 on my bucket list. I imagine the order could change as I get older. And with an endearing smile, Aunt Braley replied, You are rather young to be starting a bucket list, sweetheart. I know, but there are so many things I want to do and so many places to see. I think I'd better start a list now so that I won't leave anything out. Aunt Braley confessed, Yes, Manatee Patty, I do understand. In many ways, I'm a dreamer, very much like you. I have had a bucket list for many years. To this day, as I travel from continent to continent, I check off the places I've been and look forward to visiting the unchecked items. I care greatly about the protection of our beautiful wildlife and offer exposure and support of what we must do throughout the world to protect the endangered species, support sustainable natural environments, and encourage mankind to do the same. My photographs are like an artist's canvas. My hopes and dreams are revealed one photograph at a time. I want your children and grandchildren to witness all the beauty we see, as well as have an awareness of what we must do to keep it that way. Perfectly expressed this. Maggie added, You know, Braley, you have always inspired me, and now you're following your dreams, educating and inspiring the world. You are so kind, Maggie. By the way, Chris mentioned to me that you are enjoying your job as the library services manager. Yes, it's been a wonderful experience. We offer so many services within the Manatee County Public Library System. Since we have 6 separate libraries, a director of services was a necessity. Here, Braley. I made your favorite lemon poppy seed mini muffins. They are so delicious, Maggie. You spoil me. Maggie does an excellent job with her baking and in her job too. I'm so proud of her. Chris said, pausing just before turning to his daughter and saying the words that he knows will upset her. Speaking of jobs, Maggie and I need to visit with you about my recent career opportunity, but it will mean moving to another state. What? Oh no, we can't leave Bradenton, Manatee Patty implores. It's the only place I've ever lived. My manatees are here. Surely we won't be moving to a location without manatees. Manatee Patty is visibly shaken. The dam of tears broke and saturates her face. Her mom puts her arm around her, begins to dry her tears, and assures her that everything will be okay. Hold on, Manatee Patty, Dad said. The job I've been offered and accepted is at Yellowstone National Park. I'll be supervising a team of research biologists for 2 years. Remember how much you loved it when we visited the park the summer after your first grade year? Yes, I love visiting there, Manatee Patty admitted, but I never dreamed we'd be moving there. How can I leave Mr. Kyle, Bobby, Mr. Timberlake, the aquarium, the ocean, the rivers, this tropical climate, and the epicenter of my manatees? Bobby and I have just decided we'd work on the Parker Manatee Aquarium as teen volunteers when we are 15. Now we can forget that. Why didn't you let me know about this sooner? Mom pointed out. Let's consider the once-in-a-lifetime career opportunity for your dad and the amazing adventures awaiting us in another beautiful place in America. Your mom's right, Aunt Braley added. You and I have always loved all types of animals. Marine animals are beautiful, and so is the tropical climate. But perhaps you can concentrate on wildlife and the beautiful landscape of Yellowstone. You'll have a positive impact on others wherever you go. Mom explained to Manatee Patty, change is difficult, but it is a part of life. No matter what changes we face, we will forge ahead and become stronger in so many ways. It's hard for you to imagine it right now, sweetheart, but someday you will look back and realize that this stepping stone not only helped you grow stronger, but it guided you on the path to follow your dreams. With his gentle hand patting Manatee Patty's shoulder, Dad added, I agree with your mom. We love you so much. No matter where we live, our family is together, and it will become a home. A knock at the door changes the conversation. It's probably Cheeto, Chris said. Would you mind answering it, Maggie? We've invited Cheeto to join us for dinner, Braley. I know it's been over a year since you've seen him. He's such a dear friend whose wisdom and support have meant so much throughout the years. It's so good to see you, Braley, Cheeto said after entering the house. Manatee Patty keeps me updated on your travels around the world. Your family's so proud of your contributions as a photojournalist, and I am too. Why, thank you, Mr. Kyle, said Braley. It's great to see you again. Manatee Patty interrupted. Oh, Mr. Kyle, you won't believe what I have to tell you. We're moving, and I'm still in shock. Cheeto, we will be moving to Cody, Wyoming in a couple of weeks, Dad said. I was offered a job at Yellowstone for 2 years, and they need me right away. Also, Maggie has been offered a job at the Buffalo Bill Center of the West Museum. Cheeto nodded in agreement and said, I know it must be a wonderful opportunity for you and your family, but it won't be the same without the best next-door neighbors anyone could imagine. I wish you'd move with us, Mr. Kyle. You're like a grandfather to me. I've known you my entire life. And you are like the granddaughter I never had. Change is difficult, but it's a part of life. Knowing you as well as I do, you will become an expert about the endangered species living in Yellowstone. You'll share your vast knowledge about manatees with people you meet in Wyoming, and they'll share information about wildlife, ecosystems, and the beautiful landscape in Yellowstone with you. Shared knowledge is key in every relationship. I would have never known much about Native American culture if you hadn't lived next door and shared so many stories with me, Manatee Patty said. After working at the Tampa Electric Company for so many years, I thought I knew just about everything about manatees. But then I met you, Manatee Patty. Aunt Braley then thinks of a way to brighten Manatee Patty's evening. Why, don't you open the gift I brought you? I thought you'd never ask, Aunt Braley. I just love the wrapping paper with the elephants, lions, leopards, giraffes, hippos, monkeys, and birds. All of a sudden, Manatee Patty rips open the gift. The animals on the wrapping paper are catapulting into multiple directions. Wow, a camera! Oh, Aunt Braley, I absolutely love it. It's so sophisticated. I'll start reading the manual after dinner. Manatee Patty walks over to her aunt, gives her a hug, and said, I love you, Aunt Braley. I'm so glad you like it. And I love you, my favorite namesake. Aunt Braley glances at her brother. You know, Chris, this experience reminds me of the time when I was about Manatee Patty's age, and you gave me a camera for my birthday. I figured it's about time to pass on the love of photography to the next generation of the Mann family. I imagine she'll be able to take some photography classes in Cody. We will certainly check into it after we get settled, Dad said. And Manatee Patty, I forgot to mention that we can enjoy some of those spectacular views in Yellowstone on their remote webcams. We'll have to check into it later this evening. Manatee Patty replied. That sounds like fun, Dad. Speaking of fun, I have an animal fact to share with you, Manatee Patty, Aunt Braley said. Did you know that male bison sometimes make sounds like the African lion? That's an interesting animal fact I didn't know, Aunt Braley. Since you travel throughout the world on your job, you were probably amazed at the similarities among species. Aunt Braley added, Oh, I meant to tell you, about 3 months after you move, I will be returning from Antarctica to Montana for several weeks. I'll come for a visit. In the meantime, I'll be emailing you pictures. You'll be dreaming of my favorite emperor penguins before you know it. Manatee Patty exclaimed, Antarctica? How cool is that? Get my pun? Did you know there are 17 species of penguins? I love the emperor penguins, also known as Aptenidites fostori. I know they are the tallest, about 4 feet. Did you know after the female laid the eggs, the male waddles around, carrying it on top of his feet, keeping it warm on a flap on his belly, called the brood pouch. The male incubates the egg for about 65 days and fasts until the female returns. Then, for about 8 weeks, the female and male take turns keeping the baby warm in their brood pouches. What's frightening is that the effects of global warming could eventually cause your emperor penguins to become classified as endangered, and that would be horrible. It certainly would be, Aunt Braley said. Now, see how easy that was? You're already an expert in another genre. We might just have to change your nickname to Penguin Patty. Oh, Aunt Braley, you're teasing me. Just promise to send me pictures as soon as you arrive. I will if you promise to show me how those dream catchers work after dinner. I love beads, shells, and feathers, and the jewels on the larger one look magical. You can count on it. Mr. Kyle taught me how dream catchers work. I can't wait to share the story with you later, Aunt Braley. Maggie glanced at the clock and announced, Okay, everyone, it's time for dinner. The culinary feature of the night is the pineapple upside-down cake baked in the 60-year-old iron skillet Cheeto gave me. Manatee Patty made it. It's another tradition being passed along to another generation in our family. Thanks, Papa Cheeto. Is it okay if I call you that? And with a delightful smile, Mr. Kyle affirmed, Of course. I certainly like the way that sounds. After dinner, Manatee Patty shares Mr. Kyle's story about dream catchers with Aunt Braley and watches the Yellowstone cam with her dad. After she gets ready for bed, she begins reading the camera manual. After a few minutes, her eyes get heavy. She falls fast asleep and dreams about Antarctica and penguins, of course. Here is a photograph with a chin strap penguin. If you see that strap right there, that's probably why it has its name. That was taken by Pat McMillan. Chapter 10. From the moment Manatee Patty enters Mr. Timberlake's classroom, her classmates realize something is terribly wrong. Her puffy eyes are brimming with tears, and the girl who is typically excited and upbeat is obviously troubled. Mr. Timberlake grabs some tissues and invites her to join him in the hall. After visiting a few minutes, he escorts her to her desk. Boys and girls, Manatee Patty has some news to share with you. I found out yesterday I'll be moving to Cody, Wyoming. My dad's taken a job at Yellowstone National Park, and my mom will work at the Buffalo Bill Center of the West Museum. We will be there for 2 years, but the unbelievable part is that we have to leave in 2 weeks. Bobby asked, Why in 2 weeks? That's so soon. Manatee Patty answered, That's exactly how I reacted, Bobby. My dad applied for the job a few months ago. When it was offered to him last week, he was told he needed to begin within the month. Mr. Timberlake interjected, Your classmates, the science club members, and I will certainly miss you. You'll be amazed at how the next 2 years will fly by. Boys and girls, we all know Manatee Patty knows a great deal about threatened and endangered species, not just manatees. Knowing you, Manatee Patty, you'll become involved in the multitude of activities awaiting you at your new school at Yellowstone. I'm sure we'll all learn a lot about the wildlife and ongoing conservation efforts in the Yellowstone National Park area when she returns. Angel crosses her eyes and cocks back her head to gain the attention of her peers around her. She stated, You can count on it. Bobby leans toward Manatee Patty to console her. He says encouragingly, "Don't be sad. Sudden changes can really be hard on you. But look at it as a new adventure. I am living proof." "I wish I had your positive attitude, Bobby. I'm going to miss my manatees and my tropical paradise so much. It hurts just to think about it. You, Mr. Timberlake, the school, the science club, and my friends will be hard to replace. Now our dream of working as teen helpers at the Parker Manatee Aquarium has all but disappeared." With a mischievous grin on his face, Bobby replied, "We can't apply to work there until we're 15, and you'll be back here when you're almost 10. Perhaps you need a little tutoring in math. Just kidding. We'll have plenty of time to apply." "It's okay, Bobby. I'm just a little stressed. I hope you and your parents can come up and visit while we are up there." "That would be awesome," Mr. Timberlake then announced. "For those of you who are members of our science club, please don't forget our meeting will be held after school in 2 weeks. Don't forget to keep recycling your cans and remind your families to do the same. Now, let's get started on our math assignment." Okay, that concludes our video. Please come back and join me for video number 6. Bye.